Alright, welcome back to the channel and the continuation of our build. And today we've got a little bit of wiring to run to get to some switches. And you know, as in any build, there's always design change. you plan something out and you think this is the way I'm going to do it, and then as you start working you decide I'm going to do something different. So such is my case, and what I'm referring to is the light switch panel that I intentionally wanted to put in front of the sink. And so I designed the switch plate and all the holes and everything, get ready to mount, and I decided that's not the direction I'm going to go. And then I decided that I'm going to utilize this opening that I have under the bed, make a switch panel for that, and a little drawer underneath. And well, I changed my mind again. So if you want to see what I did, stick around. Alright, so first I was going to put a switch plate here and install all my switches, but I decided not to use that. Then I was going to make a plate across here and decided not to use that. So what I did is I had this little area under this bed rail that wasn't being utilized. So I decided to put all my switches here, and I do have things connected up, power to it, but I don't have the wires run to it just yet. So if I run my fingers across my switches here, then everything lights up, and we could turn things on one at a time. We can also turn things off one at a time. I did install this switch here that at this moment would utilize for my water pump. So I still am not sure if I want to put the switch over here in front of the sink, which I think would be more practical. So if I touch that, I can turn my switch on. So I may install one there, and for the water pump, once I figure out where all that's going to go. All right, so let me show you what I've got done here in behind and what we need to get done next. Okay, so the first thing I did is I installed another battery shut-off switch, and I wired that into my bus bars, and then I run 10 gauge wiring around and to the back for my 12-volt fuse block. And then I installed all my switches and got those wired up, and I'm using the Wago lever locks. And so the wires that I have hanging down will actually go for the wires for the lights. And so I need to get this mess, which is tied into this fuse block, and get some more wiring connected and route that probably over top of the batteries in a wire loom, run that over to my switches, and then we can call that complete. Then I do have on the top here, I do have some reading lights just like above the stove that I'll be installing on each side, so 2 per side. And then we will run the wiring out through here. We'll run it through the pillar and down and under the bed. And we'll get those, the reading lights will be tied into this fuse block because the power can stay on. And then for the regular lights, we are going to put those on this fuse block to tie into these switches so I can turn those on and off from the front of the cabin. So let me go ahead and get my lights out. We're going to go ahead and get those installed and run some wiring, and we'll get those down and get things installed. All right, that's what we're going to do, so let me get it done. Oh man, all right, a little progress report. One, it got about 93 degrees today. I think it's supposed to hit 94, and it is about 20 minutes till 5 p.m. So anyway, we got some stuff done, and well, let me just show you what it is. All right, so over our bed, we went ahead and put our reading lights here and connected everything together using the Wago lever locks, and I like those. Those are doggone handy. Makes quick work out of Big job. Did that on both sides. So we do have lights there on both sides. And right now, all of the power is disconnected. And we'll take you in the back and show you what we're doing there. So here in the back, I tied it together using the lever locks and ran my wiring through the back of the cabinet, up and over and down through the pillar, and come out here on our panel underneath and ran our wiring through our cable clamps. And then all the wiring that was in our 12-volt fuse block, I went ahead and lever locked all those, ran new wires, and that runs all the way to the front where we have a spider web of wires. And now it's just a matter of connecting up to each switch, and then we can turn the fuse block back on, test each light out, and see how well we did. All right, so and I have labeled each one of my cables as to which light they go to, starting at the front and working back on each circuit. So I have 8 lines that I'll be running, and I'll have 1 spare at the end, which I may or may not use for the water pump, like I said before. So, all right, I need to trim some wire, get those connected, and then we can put our fuse back into our block, turn power back on to the fuse blocks, and get those tested out. And I still have the wiring for my fans, and these wires here are for the reading lights that are above the stove and above the bed. So we still have to run those. We'll probably run those down in a wire loom and reconnect to our fuse block. Okay, a little bit more work to do, but we're almost there. So let me get cracking. All right, we're back in business. So here's what I've done. Went ahead and run all my wiring for all my reading lights and my exhaust fans. And got those all wired up. Everything is wired on the switches. So we'll test out the lights here in a little bit. Got the power back on and things are running. So it's about 90 degrees in the van, so the fans are running. I have one doing an intake, one doing an exhaust, and once I close the doors, then it'll start moving some air around. All right, so my next task here, just show you. And all of them work. Pretty good. Sweet. Okay, well, I have a mess to clean up, and once I get that cleaned up, then we'll just give one more shot, show you how the light switches work, and fast, easy, and fun. We're moving right along. Man, it was a hot one today, and a little slow moving, but you know, when it gets warm, just kind of take it easy, drink some water, and keep moving. So I did get, I would think I'm about 90% done with the electrical. I do have a couple of outlets that I want to install, and the wiring for the DC to DC charger. I don't think there's anything else left. Well, water pump, but other than that, I think I'm real close to being finished with the electrical. Next will be the plumbing. All right, so we've got everything wired up, we've got everything on switches, and I think now I'm gonna go ahead and close the doors and just kind of turn the lights on, show you what it looks like with all the lights on, and then we'll kill the lights and turn on the reading lights. And yeah, kind of interesting to see what it looks like. So why don't we do that? Let me shut things up and turn on some lights, and then I'll show you what's next. All right, so we got the doors closed and the shades are on, and it's pretty dark in here. Once I turn this light off, it's going to get even darker, but we'll run through and turn on the lights and just see how much light we actually emit here. So let me go ahead and kill this one. All right, now we're in the dark. Here goes the lights. We got the first one, second one, third, fourth, fifth. So that's all the overhead lights. And then we have the under the cabinet lights. And one more. So it pretty much brightens it up in here real nice. So it is almost daytime. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to kill these, and then we'll turn on the reading lights. Now to kill these, because these are touch switches, it goes pretty quick, so sweet. All right, so the first one, now these don't emit a lot of light, but gives it a little nice appearance. Let's see if you can't see that. So the lights over the stove. And we have the lights over the bed. So it's pretty nice. All right, let me open the doors, turn the lights back on, all that good stuff, and then we'll talk about our next project. Okay, so our next project is going to be to install the 110 outlets. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in front of the sink. That's where I'm going to put those. And so we've got a couple of these, well, I can't even pronounce it. But anyway, do a little unboxing here. And these outlets have USBs on here. So I got 2 of these, and we're going to install both of them right in front of the cabinet, and I think that's going to look pretty decent. I think the cable on those are about 9 feet, so I should be able to have enough cable to run back to the inverter and route it just the way I want it, so it's out of sight, out of mind. So let me show you what I'm gonna, well, show you what my intentions are, and we'll see if it changes after that. Yeah, kind of seems like it happens that way. Okay, so this section here I was going to devote to just the light switches, but after thinking it through a little bit, I decided not to do that. But what I will do is I am going to make a plate here on the front, like a false drawer, and I will install my outlets, both of them, one on each end, and I will probably use a pull handle just like this here in the center, and I'm going to hang a towel and stuff like that on there, but that'll give me a kind of illusion of a drawer with a couple of outlets. That way, if I have a coffee maker, Keurig, induction cooktop, whatever I want to use, I'll be able to plug in right there and access the countertop. So that's my plan. Like I said, I have 2 of these bad boys, and I hope they work out all right. I guess I should plug them in at some point and test them before I go through all the effort to find out that they don't work. That'd be my luck. All right, well, that is my next task, is to get this plate made, and I will fasten it from the inside. So what I will do is once the plate is made, I will pre-drill a couple of holes and then clamp the false drawer in the front and screw fasten from behind, and that way you don't see any fasteners or anything like that. And I will also install the pull handle. I will probably do that before I put it on. I'm not sure. Yeah, yeah, I can put it on before I fasten it on here. If it does spin loose or get crazy on me, I can take this off. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, so I do have a few things that I want to get done and get tidied up. I will probably, temporary purposes, install a propane tank under the sink, plumb it into the stove, and probably do some carry-on water. I have a trip planned in a couple of weeks. Gonna head over to the coast. I've got a friend of mine that showed up, and we're gonna make about a 4 or 5 day camping trip. So we'll test this out, and I think the coastal weather will be a little cooler, and if it rains, I really don't mind if it rains at all. So it's been pretty warm, but not complaining too much, because I know people all around the state of Oregon is dealing with the same thing, maybe even worse. Actually, I know they're worse. So I hope everybody's doing all right, and things are going smooth. So with all that, we're done for the day, and I'm gonna call this video complete. So I wanna say thank you, appreciate all the comments, appreciate you hanging in there and watching the videos and seeing the progress of the Bat Band coming along. One of these days it's gonna be finished, and we're almost there. I got some ideas I want to do to kind of trick it out before it's totally finished. But until then, we'll just continue working on. So without any further ado, stay tuned.